Y'all know what time it is. It is time to rank the perfected 30 builds I have made for this Project Fall Off series. Now, in the background, you guys will be seeing clips of me playing on that build I just showed you right there. That is my real man Sukuna build, my King James build perfected. It's a slasher with a 99 driver dunk. I'm doing a black plate, the red plate random rec exclusively series on that build. So those are the highlights you guys will be seeing there. Now, starting at number 30, we gotta go ahead and put the 6-1 PG there. That is a Harley Quinn build. So a lot of people ask me, Fresh, you got so many PGs. What do you think of these ratings? Is this height too small to play PG? This, that, and the third. I won't lie to you. 6'2 is the height I would recommend. You can make a 6'1 PG. I wouldn't recommend anything lower. Back on 2K22, 5'10 demons were actually a thing. So 5'10 was actually the best PG height because they had a badge called Mismatch Expert. That badge is now called Mini Marksman, and it is not nearly as good. Hall of Fame Mismatch Expert had you shooting over 7-foot centers confidently, open every time. It was insane. And back on that game, you could hit fade threes, you could hit white lights. And you guys don't know about 2K22. That was a crazy, crazy time compared to the times we play in now. Think back to season one. Do you remember when point guards were fading threes and all that consistently? Well, on 2K22, you could actually hit those shots even if you mistimed it. Yes, white lights went in back then. So, white lights went in so much because they had a sniper badge and circus threes, and they have multiple badges that negate a contest, where all they got now is Deadeye. They had mismatch expert, Deadeye, blinders. You could never get a contest on the game for the most part. Even if you jump, you still got shot over. It didn't matter if you 7'12" or anything like that. It was a crazy time to be in. That's made small PG super dominant. If Mini Marksman was super good, this height would be better, but the smallest height I would actually recommend is 6'2". So that's why we got Harley Quinn down here. This is really the only build in the series I would really want to recommend people make, because I would just say make the 6'2" Batman build for the most part. Although you get a few less attribute points at the taller height, I don't think it's worth giving up the extra inch of height. And you also can get 89 driver dunk to pair with the 99 through ball for the pro contact dunks off of one. This is what the 6'1 PG build looks like. If you guys are interested in that, that is our 6'1 Harley Quinn build. It gets a score of 74. That's the number you guys see right next to it, so that's a good score. Now, all the other builds, all 29, get a score of 90 or higher. I think they are all amazing builds. That's not me really being biased or anything. I tried to grade it as objectively as possible. I'll show you guys the rubric and all that. But without further ado, let's go ahead and go over number 29, and that is going to be our Robin build. Now, since we're in the amazing category, I won't show you guys the original build like I showed you guys the original Harley Quinn, whatever the case may be. I will show you guys alternate versions of each of these 29 builds, right? So, you guys can go look at the original you guys want to. I got the whole video on that explaining how to get the cat breakers and stuff like that. But I want to show you guys how you can manipulate these cat breakers and craft these builds and make them your own. So Robin is our 6'4" hashlock. And instead of going with the playmaking cat breakers like we tend to do on the small guards, we actually go with a perimeter, steal, and defensive cat breaker combination. So some people might ask, how do you know what combination to use on your build? It depends on what you want to get up. So on Robin, we want to get 96 driver dunk. That is super high. And then on the original Robin, we had 99 perimeter and 99 steal. So you want to get that combination, you definitely should go with the perimeter, steal, and defensive cat breakers that you can, because that save you a lot of attribute points in the builder and make your build well more all around. And all these builds here are amazing. So we are splitting hairs, truthfully speaking. But some knocks on this build wise, it gets an amazing score, not spectacular or legendary. 6'4" is like the smallest height I would recommend for a lockdown, and the reason why you don't go lower than 6'4", in my opinion, is because you need pogo stick. On this game, you got to jump to contest, and since you're only 6'4", people are going to try to shoot over you, right? And truth be told, they can shoot over anybody. You don't jump to contest on this game. It don't matter if you're 6'12". You're not really finna get a contest. But you gotta make sure you miss time your jump, right? If you jump too early, whatever the case may be, you can land and then jump again. So you at least gotta be 6'4" for the pogo stick. You go below that, you lose out on that badge. Now, people think the 6'4" lockdown is troll, and like I said, you jump, you can still get contest. But a lot of people will look more into these 6'4" hash locks. It Mini Marksman was a fire badge. I remember on 2K22 talked about it earlier. Small guards were able to shoot over anybody and everybody. Well, there's a certain height requirement where you're within that. The mismatch expert doesn't work as well. And same thing with Mini Marksman this year, right? You gotta be like within 3 inches or whatever for that to activate. If you're 4 inches or taller, I think it is, it can activate wherever the case may be. So 6'4" lockdown build, so we get a whole lot more playing time. And mini marksman was insane, and a lot of people make more and more small guards if that badge is better. But overall, though, that's why we got this build, the 6'4" hashlock at number 29. Let me go ahead and show you guys the alternative version real quick. Compared to the original, we actually lowered the perimeter and the steal. So instead of going for 99.99, we get 96.96 perimeter and steal for Hall of Fame defensive badges. You can +1 those to get those up to legend steal. And you get the 87 ball handle to start. You want to, you can spend 5 cap breakers to get that 92 ball handle. And you get all the small guard dribble moves, so you can really dribble like a guard out there and be a great secondary ball handler. Now, we're going over to build number 28 on this rankings, and that is the build you guys see me playing on right now. Real Man Sukuna, the king of slashing. So, I got experience on this build. It is a fire build, but the problem with the build is, what does it invest heavily in? Dunking. Dunking on this game isn't the best because your meter can shrink and you try to dunk on people. I think 2K24 had an amazing dunk system. You were able to catch a lot of bodies that way and stuff, and the meter was reliable and consistent. This year, not the best dunk system, and at the end of the day, it's only worth 2 points anyways, right? So, in my opinion, threes are the best way to win games, whether that's Park or Pro-Am, Rec, whatever the case may be. Threes are king on 2K26. So having an 83 three ball isn't the end-all be-all, but then what else does the build do well? Well, it got 99 dunk. Other than that, I think it's just good at everything, right? It's an all-around fire build, right? It can snag rebounds, the 85 rebound. The 90 vertical is at sometimes great, and then other times it's like, oh, man, he ain't jump. I don't know if that's a skill issue thing. You do have to green rebounds and stuff. I haven't really mastered greening rebounds on when to jump. You guys got a method on that? Let me know down below. Ryan Can't Miss just put me on a game with this heavy rebound stuff he does. I might have to give that more of a try, where, like, make sure you get a running start, so you miss time your run. You can stop for a little bit, then run one step, and then jump, and you get that, that running leap rebound animation. And with a 90 vertical, that should help you snag a whole lot more rebounds. I just feel like 85 rebound, when you encounter those people that got the 99 O board, oh, you're just going to get dogged out. There's not really anything you can do. I call it the Vince McMahon effect, because you got no chance in hell getting that rebound. I don't care. You got 90 vertical, 99 vertical, jet takeover, whatever the case may be. You're not getting that board. Now, my apologies about the footage. If it seems a little choppy or laggy, I don't know what that is about. Might have some technical difficulties on my end. My laptop might be older than some of you guys watching this video right now. I had this laptop since I was in middle school. I need a new laptop drastically. But when it comes to this Real Men Sukuna build, it's good in everything, but the thing it excels in is the dunking, and dunking is more of a fun thing, not really a comp thing, and it's not even that great this year, so I don't even get that many bodies, so it's kind of frustrating when you try to get a body, and then, your meters shrink or whatever, you miss time to dunk, and then a missed shot is a turnover on this game for the most part, so that's a bummer on it, but overall, still another amazing build. I give the same score I gave Robin, a 90 flat. So here's the alternative version of the build. On this one, we lowered the weight so you're a little bit faster. You don't go up to 85 rebound, you only go up to 80, and we took down some block and gave it more perimeter defense, so you can go up to 92 perimeter and be a lockdown defender on the perimeter instead of the interior, but you still get bronze paint patroller and silver high flying denier. Now we're going on to build ranked at number 27, and that is a 6'9" build that everybody loves. It is Wonder Woman. No, I'm kidding. It's the other 6'9" build we made. It is Gojo, the 6'9" hash. So Gojo's an amazing build. And we'll talk about the rankings at the end of this video that you guys did, because you guys were in the Discord. I had you guys rank the builds I was making as I uploaded them and stuff. And you guys said this Gojo build was actually better than Green Lantern. I disagree with that. And here's why. Gojo is 6'9". It has to be made at the small forward spot. And that's also where your lockdown defender position will likely be made. So why does that matter? Because that's going to confuse your point guard. The person on the wing is usually circle, but you make a Gojo build, it's likely that the person on the wing will be square, if that makes sense. So it's kind of confusing, because then your lockdown's in the corner and his icon circle. It kind of confuses your point guard, and I play point guard a lot. I know how annoying that is. Now, another thing about it, it's a hash at 6'9", so it's great to shoot over people in the half court set and stuff like that. But a lot of hashes are great at leaking out on breaks and getting transition buckets that way. It will only have 86 speed, so you won't really be able to leak out on breaks and get transition buckets like that. and it only gets 80 ball handle, which in my opinion is good if you're a lockdown defender or a power forward because ball handle is kind of a luxury. But when you're a hash, you should want higher ball handle so you could change your dribbles together quicker and get all the good dribble moves on the game at your height. So since you can't do that as well, that is a knock on the build as well. In addition to of course, playing at small forward and confusing your PG with the icons. On the flip side, there's some bonuses of going up to 6'9". Now you can get the silver paint patroller at 84 block, and you can't get that at 6'8" in the deep bomber takeover. Right, it's like one or the other. So you go for the deep bomber, you can't get the silver paint patroller. Unfortunately, paint patroller becomes a tier 1 badge at the height 6'9", where it's a tier 2 badge at 6'8". But at 6'9", you get on ball menace, challenger, and pick dodger as all tier 2 badges. So you get all those at gold at 92 perimeter defense, and then you could plus 2 those very easily to get all legend defensive badges. And that's a huge benefit of going 6'9" compared to 6'8". And of course, at the height 6'9", that is the tallest height you can be to get the wing jumpers like Ray Allen and stuff like that. You go any taller, you get the big man jumpers, and you don't want those on the hash. Even though some of those big man jumpers are solid. But that's Gojo. Now I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys the alternative version. On the original, we gave it post control so you can score even with your back to the basket to pair very nicely with that mid range. But you don't care for the post control. You can lower the post control, raise the standard dunk up, raise the pass accuracy, do whatever you want. You can modify however you guys desire. But that's Gojo at the height 6'9". Now the final build we're going to go over in this video is our 6'7" back end build we call Raiden. Now Raiden is very similar to Sukuna that I showed earlier. Raiden is 6'7". And it's good at all attributes, but there's one attribute it excels in the most, and that is the steal. So this back end build gets 99 steal. That's good enough for Legend Interceptor and Legend Glove. You don't have to +1 any of them, and you get the maximum rating, so you should have the best chance of getting lane steals. You should be guarding the center on the pick and roll, so whenever he tries to slip or roll, whatever, you're able to switch on with the lockdown if you guys need to, or you can hedge, get back in the lane, and then try to get interceptions that way. But the problem with this build, in my opinion, you're 6'7", which isn't a bad height. You can still get silver paint patroller, but I like the height 6'7" for shooting guards and small forwards, and I like it for the power forward position. Because for power forward, I feel like it is undersized. It's kind of like the lowest height I would recommend, similar to the 6'2" build. Of course, you can make a 6'6" power forward. That'd be like the 6'1" build, and we'll talk about the 6'6" power forward later on in this ranking video series. So make sure you guys are subscribed for that. But at the height 6'7", you're going up against big men for the most part. There are 6'11", 7 foot, or some that might even be 7'4". It's going to be hard to contest them on the perimeter and the paint, in my opinion. And so many of these big men built that I haven't shown yet are dominant with post scoring. So you probably don't have strength on your 6'7" power forward. If you do have strength on it, then you had to sacrifice somewhere else. So let's say you got no strength. I feel like you're barbecue chicken because you're just so small in the paint to begin with. And you got no strength, you're getting drop step, stuff like that. So there are some downsides to the Raiden build, but I do think it is a very, very fire build. It just requires a little bit more IQ compared to the other power forward builds. Now, I made the build with 93 driver dunk, the one that I showed, but these are the playmaking cat breakers one right here. So you're cool with 87 driver dunk, and you want to get that 87 pass accuracy for the gold break starter. Here's what you guys could work with and get the 99 steal rating. And at the height 6'7", break starter is actually a tier 2 badge, so you can actually +2 that very easily to legend if you want to go that route. But overall, that will conclude this video. So let me know what build you guys agree with or disagree with here. Is there a build you thought that was ranked way too low? Let me know down below in the comment section. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. I hope to see you guys on the next one. God bless.